program was pre-recorded.
You've entered the Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher, political analyst and socio-political prophet, and Kevin Gallagher, TV and podcast host and opinionated jackhole. So settle in, grab a beverage. It's time to talk some politics. It's Fletch Nation. Now here are the boys.
Once again, we say hello, and glad to have you with us for another episode of Fletch Nation. Coming at you from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the state capital, and the delicious old school barbecue on Corsi Boulevard.
Kevin?
How are you?
How you doing?
It's awfully good to see you.
You too.
You're looking hale and hearty.
Yes, I am.
It's been a really eventful week, so where would you like to begin this week?
I'd like for it to turn down the feedback a little bit. Thank you. Yeah. So, we've had an eventful week. No question about that. Of course, another shooting, an atrocious shooting.
Yep.
Just unbelievable. And then you start to find out about the weirdo who did it. I mean, you know, what I find despicable is everybody runs to decide whether they're a Trump supporter or not, who shot.
The hell difference
or if
does
they're
that
black or white.
Pardon my French, but seriously, what difference does that make when people are dead?
It didn't matter. But that seems to be the way it operates. At least on some social media operations like Twitter. But the fact is that this was a real oddball dude.
Oh, yeah.
This is a strange dude. 5'11", 120 pounds. You think he had an eating problem?
Yeah.
I think he had a little problem.
5'11", 120 pounds.
Yeah, 120 pounds.
That's the scarecrow from Oz, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, at best. And then, or Illinois. And then we find out that he was dressed in women's clothes when he shot, as a disguise, apparently, when he shot.
A disguise or a style choice?
Yes, I guess so. I don't know what that means.
Yes.
But whatever it means, it means. He was, apparently, you heard this morning, I have not heard the news this morning, that he had a real problem intra-family, correct?
I had just heard this minutes before coming here to tape this program. And by the way, it's Wednesday, July the 6th as we tape this. I had heard this morning on talk radio, I'll say who, I like to listen to Clay and Buck, the guys who heirs apparent to the Rush Limbaugh radio.
Yeah, Buck Sexton.
Yeah, Buck Sexton, Clay Travis, good guys. Apparently he had threatened multiple members of his family with stabbing.
Oh, over the last few months?
Yeah. And then somewhere along the line, after
Papa decided he could get a gun.
Yeah, after threatening family members with stabbing, his dad helps him to purchase weapons. Now, as long as we've got stuff like that going on, we're going to have this kind of stuff happen.
And clearly, this is a mental illness problem that this young man had, and we did hear. There's one thing you can always count on with these shootings, and that is the FBI knew about it.
It always seems that way. He was on their radar.
It always seems that way, doesn't it? It's very, very weird.
Well, these are the arguments made for red flag laws.
It is the arguments made for red flag laws, and this guy fits the definition perfectly of where that would work. And I suspect that there's probably some tinfoil wearers that are saying, well, that's kind of coincidental that this is perfect for red flag laws, if you follow where I'm coming from.
I've already heard today the word patsy, perfect patsy,
okay,
used in description of this guy.
That I think gives us an indication of where some people's brains are, not in their head at least. But clearly, it's unbelievable, and it's hard to digest this stuff. But it's about all I can say about it now. As things kind of play out, we'll learn more and know more, and we'll talk more about it. But I want to turn to a completely different subject, and a really odd subject.
Go.
And outside of the United States, in the Netherlands, the Dutch Apparently the Netherlands government has decided to prohibit farmers from using nitro fertilizer. That is in order to protect our world from global warming and climate change. Because when you make nitro fertilizer, apparently you use all kind of, gas and oil and so on and so forth, and it's nitro fertilizer. Well, they've made it apparently illegal for farmers to use it, and the farmers have gone on strike because they can't raise crops, they say, without this nitro fertilizer. It's imperative that they have it. And it's almost they've taken it almost as if the Netherlands government, the government of the Netherlands, has decided to shut down farming in the Netherlands. And the farmers have taken to stopping traffic, literally blockades. They're protesting. They're shutting down highways. One incident in the Netherlands already, they've been shot at by police for shutting down highways. Mm-hmm. They have brought liquefied pig manure to government buildings and sprayed the government buildings with it. Yeah, the Netherlands know how to protest. In other words, they're not over there trying to blow it up. What they're trying to do is to make a statement as to the policy of the government, mm-hmm. that it's not worth liquefied pig manure. Okay, so
this is what the government's fit for.
And so there's one other incident where provocateurs engaged the farmers in fights, and then were immediately hustled out of the scene by a police van. Now, the reason I bring it up is because one is that this is the insanity of climate change proponents, that mm-hmm. what they would do. And you can kind of get an impression that maybe at Davos, when we had everybody there, mm-hmm. that somebody said, oh yeah, let's do away with nitrogen fertilizer, and that way we can save the planet. And somebody said, oh, it's a great idea, we're going home and do that. And they went back to Amsterdam and pulled the little rug out.
But Roy, there's a reason we use nitrogen-based fertilizer.
Where are we going to
works.
get food? Yeah, and where are we going to get food if this continues on? Stupid stuff like this.
So let me get this straight. Nitrogen is now a bad thing and it affects global warming. Nitrogen is over 73% of the air we breathe.
Yes, okay, good. But it's nitrogen fertilizer. So whatever, I don't understand farming I do understand how to raise a crop, but I don't know the agribusiness of farming. But the notion that you're going to shut down fertilizer in this situation, in the situation that the world finds itself in, where there's been plenty of articulation of a coming food shortage, mm-hmm. what are these people thinking about? And where is their brain? And where is their common sense? But anyway, that's what we face with it. And it almost reminds one of the Canadian trucking incident.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have to take a quick break. We're going to come right back with lots more. Fletch Nation, we're going to talk about that Canadian trucking incident when we come back. Stay there.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
And we're back with Fletch Nation. So glad to have you with us, and a big thank you to Old School Barbecue at 10655 Coursey Boulevard for their hospitality and the wonderful food as well.
And wonderful food.
So we were talking in our first segment. Netherlands has apparently declared war on nitrogen-based fertilizers, and they're willing to shut down agriculture in their country to do it.
And the farmers of the Netherlands. And we talked about the mall shooting, or the shooting in Highland Park. But this weekend they had another shooting in Denmark.
In Copenhagen, yeah.
Yeah.
At a mall.
At a mall.
I think 3 people killed, several shot.
Yeah, well, so see, it don't just happen here.
Yeah, this is not a U.S. thing.
Craziness extends worldwide.
And
insanity is all out there, folks.
I'd just like to say this about all the people that use every mass shooting to go after gun rights is you can take all the guns, you can make all the guns magically disappear, and killers will use something else to do their their crazy works.
Yeah. But by the way, I mean, we're talking about Highland Park. We're talking about one of the most restrictive gun rights laws in the country is Illinois. And Chicago and so on and so forth.
But you had mentioned going into the break that this echoes Canada had basically declared war on truckers who were protesting.
Yeah, and I mean, and one of the primary things that truckers carry is what? Agriculture produce.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seemed to me that the farmers in the Netherlands are being treated in much the same way, and using the same tactics as the truckers did in Canada. And so there seems to be this desire to inhibit the supply chain, or at least in these two countries, and apparently around the world, frankly, the way I see it. And we now have a Federal Reserve raising interest rates dramatically. I think about 150 basis points by the end of August it'll be raised, which is a lot. And so our Federal Reserve is taking the position that our inflation is based around this notion of, well, gee, the money supply and monetary policy, when in fact our inflation problem is built around supply chain problems. And one of the particular supply chain problems happens to be oil and gas, because it's not being produced and it's not being delivered. And of course this week the President Biden said that it was these damn gas station owners that were causing all the damn problems.
Yeah, it's gas station owners, that's
gas station owners, which is, I think now we've gone from Putin to the gas station owners, big oil companies, and probably people driving SUVs all in the same 3-month period. I don't know. It's kind of strange. So I want to turn to Biden, and then I want to turn to Trump. I think it's important that we do that.
Sure.
And I noticed that in Arizona, the Department of Justice has filed a lawsuit in Arizona. Arizona passed a law that said, look, if you can't provide proof of citizenship, basic citizenship to the United States, you can't vote in Arizona. Well, the Department of Justice took very, very unkindly to that and filed a lawsuit to force the state of Arizona to allow people who can't show citizenship to be able to vote. With all due respect, Mr. DOJ, you got other problems besides that. And that is, to me, that is very much an indication that the Democrats are very, very concerned, as they should be, about these midterm elections.
Yes.
And guess what, folks? You're going to see absentee ballots, all of this kind of malarkey pulled again this fall if COVID strikes again, or monkeypox gets worse, or they find something else that Biden has already promised that there'll be another pandemic.
Well, there's monkeypox, and again, just this morning, I saw a news story from LSU Health out of New Orleans that they have identified new COVID Omicron subvariants.
Oh, yeah.
And how long before they're trying to scare the hell out of us with that?
Yeah, well, this time it won't be mask, it'll just be ballots. Okay, that's where
mail-in ballots for everybody.
That's where it'll be.
Vote early, vote often.
So the Real Clear Politics on the president has him now at some of the lowest numbers I've ever seen. 37, I think 38 positive, and 57, 58 negative. I mean, we're in deep mine problems here. You know, this is the coal mine. Where's the canary? And so what is happening among Democrats, as I said last week is that now we're starting to see CNN and other liberal media outlets running stories about the president being in terrible political shape. And they're starting to attack him more and more and more. And what the point of it is that the Democrats are trying to do two things. One is to give room to the Democrat congressional people, candidates. Mm-hmm. They're giving room for them to be able to separate from Biden. And number two is to blame Biden and say it's not the Congress, it's Biden. That is going to be the Democrats' argument as we head into the fall. The big stories will be about the separation strategies that Democratic candidates are using to get away from this from the president.
Question, Roy, though, to some extent, isn't that a valid argument? Some of the things that have negatively affected the economy and the supply chain and life in general for Americans have been done by executive caveat, executive orders.
They have.
Not everything has been enacted Congress.
Well, because he can't get anything through Congress.
Right.
Okay. But if you have Pelosi and that crew pushing it, it will be even more dramatic than what Biden is doing. Mm-hmm. That's the argument right now, too. There's a whole host of real anger out there among Democrats about Biden's lack of forcefulness with respect to Roe v. Wade. Mm-hmm. And that's creating even more tension on the progressive side. Biden will be challenged if he even runs. There's no question about that. Kamala Harris will be challenged even if she runs by progressive Democrats. I don't think there's any question about that. And when we come back, I want to take us through why, and then I want to take us to the Trump Republican issue and problem that they're faced with. And then at the end of the show, I want to make a couple of announcements that what we're going to try to do to make this show even better and more content, more substantive.
Okay. All right, so grab a beverage, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with much more of Fletch Nation right here on Pelican Broadcasting.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The Mazda CX-50. Confident on and off-road performance and intelligently designed utility inside and out.
The all-new Mazda CX-50 has arrived and is on sale right now at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Back with the second half of Fletch Nation. He's Roy Fletcher. I'm Kevin Gallagher. Glad to have you with us. Thanks.
So, Kevin, we're talking about the Arizona situation and what it means with reference to the elections this fall. What I think it indicates, but there was something else that happened over the weekend that deals directly with the immigration issue. The border counties in Texas got together and declared that they were an invasion of the United States. And under the Constitution, that they have the right to do that and to make that point and to demand federal protection with respect to that. The border thing has become, we don't see enough media on the border thing because the media does not want to cover the border issue. But the border is wide open, and the number of people coming into the country is astounding.
It's not just the number, Roy, it's the fact that we're coming off of a pandemic. All during that pandemic, none of those people were tested for COVID-19 or any other communicable diseases.
No.
None of those people.
No.
None of them were given sufficient background checks, and they were all, at taxpayer expense, put on planes and flown to the heartlands of America.
Yeah. And when they got across the border, they were put on planes. Mm-hmm. And by whom? By our own government.
Yep.
Which is
so I was going to ask, what does a state do if a state says, we got an invasion going on here, and the cause of the invasion is our own federal government?
I don't know.
How do you get the federal government to bring you any relief?
You start filing suits and doing everything else you can do. I did notice this weekend that the mayor of Philadelphia Remember the mayor of Philadelphia when they declared Philadelphia a sanctuary city, and he come out of his office and he was dancing? There was a video of him, and he was all
I remember
cheering.
that.
You know what he said this weekend? I got to get out of here. I got to leave Philadelphia. I'm getting out of here. I can't wait till my term's up. I'm leaving. This guy. That's the way I mean. Come on, man. You're a joke. So.
It's all style and no substance.
So Biden's situation with respect to the electorate in the country is that there is a growing feeling, and Fox poll this week demonstrated that over the weekend, like people who are financially strapped, who will say in a poll, when asked, are you financially strapped because of the inflation and so on and so forth, has risen to 42% of the American public, up 18 points from 6 months ago. They agree wholeheartedly that the economic policies of the country are harming the middle class and are destroying the middle class.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on out there, and that's the environment that the Democrats face. And so it makes perfect sense for liberal media and for other outlets like that, CNN in particular, to argue the case that this is all Biden's fault, and therefore you cannot run with Biden, separate yourself from Biden, and go run a campaign that says, yeah, Biden's a bad guy too. I mean, they won't say it that way, but that's what they're trying to articulate, so that the Republicans can't say, well, you see, it's the Democrats' fault. No, it's Joe Biden's fault. It's not the Democrats' fault. If he had listened to us, everything would have been fine. That's kind of where we are. That's the giving back and forth thing.
But who moved heaven and earth in 2020 to get Joe Biden elected?
They did. And who moved heaven and earth to pass everything that he got passed? They did. And that's where we are. Okay? That's where we are. Now, there were some Republicans that went with the president on infrastructure and so on and so forth. They will rue that day. They will rue that day that they made that.
Not going to name any names, Bill Cassidy.
No, I won't go there. Thank you, Kevin, for not mentioning Senator Cassidy's name.
We don't want to get down in the dirt and smear Senator
we're
Bill
not
Cassidy.
going to. Now, and interestingly enough, yesterday it was reported that in red states, they are now plus 340,000 jobs from not only replacing the COVID jobs, but plus 340,000 jobs. The blue states are still 1.3 million jobs behind where they were. Mm-hmm. Now that doesn't include Louisiana, because if you notice, Louisiana, there was a story over the weekend in the Advocate, I think, on Friday, that there's a report come out that Louisiana's economy is in very much trouble. Very much trouble. And of course, one of the reasons why is this oil and gas thing and the policies of the federal government, because as Scott O'Shell has pointed out in numerous articles now around the country, that there is a 5-year plan that's supposed to be implemented for drilling in the Gulf of Mexico that the Biden administration has stopped. Will not do. They will not take up building another 5-year plan for drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. So all of that adds to the deal. It's pretty clear to me that we have an economy that is hurting because of supply, of production, and we see an inflation just dramatically jump because of it.
Well, it's sad, Roy, in my mind, because America under a Joe Biden presidency is everything so many people feared that it would become.
That's exactly right. This is what, and we'll turn to him now, is what Donald Trump warned us about. Let's say that. Now, on the Republican side of things, there's a new Fox poll out that has DeSantis ahead of Trump in New Hampshire. That's the first state primary. Now, I will say that I believe that poll. There was another poll that said, no, he's about 7 points behind Trump. Either way, it doesn't matter. It means the same thing. In 2000, George Bush had that nomination pretty well wrapped up, and we had the first primary. I'll never forget, I sat around a table betting people that we would beat Bush in New Hampshire, and we would beat him handily. And everybody in the room told me I was stupid. That was when I was working for McCain. They say, you're crazy. You're crazy, Fletcher. I bet him, and I made some money. Point was that McCain won that state by better than 10 points on election day. New Hampshire is that way. It's a little bit flaky, and Trump would, my gut would tell me that Trump would lose. Trump would lose New Hampshire probably to a DeSantis candidacy now, and probably will in the future. But as it sits right now, we'll come back and deal with it. Trump is the nominee, but things can change.
A lot can change.
Yes, and we'll talk about some of it.
And we're going to talk about it right after this break. Take a quick pause, and we'll be right back with more of Fletch Nation. Stay there, please.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Gallagher High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
We're back with Fletch Nation. Now, you were with us for our last segment, and we appreciate it if you were. We were talking a little bit about, well, we talked about New Hampshire, polling in the New Hampshire primary for 2024, and Ron DeSantis actually polls ahead of Trump.
Yeah, now, the Harvard study that was released last couple of days by Mark Penn and I think Bill McIntyre, who are two of the best pollsters in America, has Trump at 57 and DeSantis at 16 nationwide, okay? So DeSantis had a long way to go, but let me tell you, you get in New Hampshire, you win New Hampshire, you get the press out of New Hampshire, and it just catapults you. Well, it did McCain, except when we got to North, we had to go next to South Carolina. and that turned into a bloodbath. And I know because I was right in the middle of it. And it ended up that Bush beat McCain there and sort of stymied him. But a couple of days later, McCain won in Michigan. And here we go again. But it ended up that the base of the party rejected McCain, and that was basically the bottom line there. Now, the trouble with the Trump candidacy, though, I mean, I see it, he would be the nominee now, but the trouble with the Trump candidacy, besides, and I've said this a couple of times, is the toxic nature of the personality. People don't like it. I like him, but people don't like it. Regular people, I'm going to say it this way, regular people don't like it. What's that say about me? I don't know. But anyway,
you ain't regular, Roy.
You ain't regular, boy. First up, let's deal with Biden's problem. His favorability has dropped like 20-something points with blacks. He's down to 60. With Hispanics, it's dropped like 25 points. He's below 50. That's the base of the party. The base of the party even is leaving Joe Biden. The economy, stupid. I say it again, over and over again, what Carville said so long ago. There's a whole lot of room for a whole lot of weird stuff if the economy's okay. But there's not a lot of room for weird stuff when the economy sucks. And this economy sucks, and it sucks badly. Okay, so, and by the way, yes, we're in a recession. I'm going to just say that. But we're waiting on the numbers now, but we're in a recession.
Saw a financial expert on Fox News this morning saying, yes, we are already in recession.
All we're doing
is not official.
We're waiting for the non-growth of the second quarter. That's all we were doing. That's what we're waiting on. But Trump's problem, not only the toxicity of the personality, who I like, but also there are three real problems for him, besides the New Hampshire problem. One, the grand jury in Atlanta is a Fulton County grand jury. It is a state prosecutor. It is a state prosecutor who I understand was supported by a lot of Soros money.
Indeed.
Okay, so my guess is they've subpoenaed, by the way, Lindsey Graham, John Eastman, and Gina, I can't think of her name right now. She was close to Trump in the administration. They've subpoenaed all of them. I think there's going to be an indictment come out of that grand jury. I really do. Whether or not it's a realistic indictment is not the issue. The issue is there going to be an indictment? I think there might be. Secondly, in New York. For
what do you think?
I don't know. Fooling with the election
They'll come up with some crap.
There's some crap. Yeah, I mean, just give me a law and let me look at it. Okay? I mean,
it's more about being able to say Trump is under indictment than it is about what you may be able to pin on it.
Of course, of course. I mean, there's no question about that. And that hurts Trump with a certain segment of the Republican base, the country club sort of Republicans, and with other people too. I mean, it'll cause some distraction. Number two is the New York State grand jury is not over. Letitia, I think it's James, or I can't remember how, but the real estate company that did the appraisals for Trump have given that grand jury hundreds of thousands of documents, and they want more documents now. Because what they're trying to do is to build a case that his properties were overvalued, consequently there was shenanigans going on there. I don't know if that will be an indictment coming out of there, but I would not be surprised. And finally, the J6 committee. The J6 committee, I said last week, because of the testimony of Casey Hutchinson and others, the J6 committee has hurt Trump in the sense of they've shown sort of that side of Trump that people did not really see, except in a boisterous kind of, caustic way that he does. That perhaps he was something else behind the scenes. Well, it shows that he was this tough guy behind the scenes, and that's the way it is. The J6 committee is not through. They're going to continue that on. The J6 committee, if they think that's affecting the midterms, they're probably wrong. Although I have seen numbers now that has the Republican lead on the generic ballot drop it from 7 to 5.
Wow.
Maybe it has. Maybe it has caused a little bit of problem. But the point of it is that if it continues on, it's not going to help Trump. And it may even hurt Republicans to some extent. So those are the three focal points besides New Hampshire. So that would be 4. Those would be the 4 focal points that Trump has to deal with as he goes forward. I think there's a bigger one than even that, and that is to slow him down a bit. But all of these grand juries, if there's indictments, what will have to happen is Trump will have to become more aggressive about defending himself, which means what? That caustic nature of his personality shows more and more and more. Mm-hmm. And that's what his problem is. And so it's kind of a cycle that is caught and can't be broken right now.
Donald Trump has always been in a unique position because of his wealth and his power, where he didn't have to be a nice guy. He never had to be a nice guy. He could just say, "Get it done."
Yeah. But in this situation,
that's not popular with a president.
Well,
Harry Truman, people loved him, but they hated him.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's no question about it. But it just keeps defining his personality. One thing before we go to break, I wanted to bring up that there was something that came out this week, over the weekend, that showed that a study that showed that the number 1 city in America for homicides and violent crime is New Orleans. Baton Rouge was not on that list. Not because Baton Rouge didn't appear on that list, but because Baton Rouge didn't have any data to show the people who were doing the study what was going on here. I bet you folks that when they finally get the data, we're going to find out Baton Rouge is in the top 5, if not number 2, or maybe number 1.
It's certainly
per capita. It's per capita.
It's per capita, but it's certainly bad in BatonRouge.
It's bad.
Yes. A friend of mine, Facebook friend of mine, took a bullet right through the side of their car in a parking lot while they were in getting a sub sandwich.
With that, we'll go to break and come back and do what we do.
More to come on Fletch Nation.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreysstoneCountryClub.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
So we're back with Fletch Nation, and we thank you so much for your time spent watching on Pelican Broadcasting, or if you're seeing this on our YouTube page or wherever. You can also see us on YouTube. You can go to YouTube, search Pelican Broadcasting, and all of the programs on Pelican Broadcasting are there, including Fletch Nation. We're also on Facebook. Just search Fletch Nation on Facebook, and you'll find us.
Well, there we go, Kevin. And so we're going to do the interview again with John Carmouche, land lawyer, environmental lawyer here in Louisiana. And I just wanted to bring up a couple of quick ones about Louisiana. I did the New Orleans thing. I think it's really important. We are in the midst of a court stay on our reapportionment plan in the state.
Yes, we are.
And we don't know when we're going to find out the answers to all this. But it seems to me that we're in this stay because somebody shucked their responsibility and didn't do what they had to do, and that was the legislature. And a lot of games are being played with it. There's also a game being played with the Supreme Court reapportionment. There's a game going on with Justice John Weimer, down in South Louisiana, in Lafourche Territory, but that's Lafourche and other parishes down in there. That is really what I'm hearing, and I don't know if this is true, and I'm trying to find out. There are really some bad politics being played against John Weimer, because if they can hold the election up long enough, a couple of more, maybe a month or so, he will not be able to run because he's 69 years old. He won't be able to run after he's 70.
And clearly that's somebody
is playing
somebody's plan.
Really a rotten game here, because the guy, I know John Weimer, he's a decent human being, and he's a really, really, really independent, almost to the point of making people angry. Real independent justice.
That's who I want on the bench, especially in the higher courts. I want people that are independent of a political party.
You would think. I noticed that the story now is breaking on the news about the Hunter Biden tape, where Joe Biden had a conversation with his son, told him everything's going to be, he was clear, everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fine.
I think you're clear.
Yeah. I think they might have a smoking gun on this one. It's really kind of
they've had so many smoke. They got an arsenal of smoking guns, and they're just not paying attention to the smoke.
Well, the national press does, but the national press is afraid to pull the trigger because, Second Amendment and stuff like that.
If I had a rug and I could just lift the corner and just kind of sweep all the Hunter Biden under that rug and then drop the corner back down.
Well, nice? But you hear from him and they go, well, he's not a public official. I don't care. He's very intimately related to his daddy.
Do you remember when people were saying that Jimmy Carter should resign because his brother took a whiz on a runway?
At the peanut factory?
Yeah, he took a whiz on a runway.
Yes, I do.
And that was cause for the president, his brother.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's kind of crazy stuff, huh?
Crazy stuff. On to coastal matters. We have a nice relationship with John Carmouche, who's a coastal attorney who's working to get the oil companies to do what they need to do to help clean up some of the environmental mess that they've made. And once again, we'd like to share that interview with Roy Fletcher and John Carmouche right now.
For those of you on the radio that listen to us on the radio and those now seeing us on TV, we're going to start a new little series today with John Carmouche, an old friend of mine who I've done work for, who's an environmental lawyer, attorney here in the state of Louisiana, and in particular as it relates to our coast, our land, and our water, and the cleanup of our coast, land, and water. John, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you for having me.
You have made a name for yourself in environmental law and litigation and so on and so forth. Tell us about your past and where you came from and what sort of sparked this interest.
Well, I'm from Napoleonville, Louisiana, born and raised. Then I went to E.D. White High School in Thibodaux. But my whole life, since I was a child, I've enjoyed the outdoors of Louisiana. And it kind of brings back old memories and brings back thinking about my papa and my uncles and who would gather every Sunday for a dove hunt and a quail hunt. And there's everything you can do in Louisiana. That's why it's so precious and we have to protect it. You have dove hunting, quail hunting, rabbit hunting, squirrel hunting, deer hunting, hog hunting. It's all here.
Duck hunting? It's
all duck hunting.
Yeah.
It's all here. And if we don't protect it, and I'm watching the town I grew up in, Napoleonville, it's not the same. And it's because of what has happened on the coast. And we're watching things happen in our lifetime that is not going to be good for the future.
We're going to let me ask you this, rather than go to the where you went to school and that sort of thing. Tell us what's happened way down there on the coast. I mean, has there been literally physical changes to what land is left and that sort of thing? What do you see down there?
Roy, the biggest thing that we have done is collected aerial photography from the 1920s and 30s. And it is a dramatic change. We are losing hundreds of miles of land and marsh, precious of Louisiana, that protects not only the coastline, but it also protects upland.
Yes.
So it's a barrier. And those people's lives have changed. I mean, if you think back to the 1960s and 70s and you look at what happened then and how they lived and the prosperity they had to now, I mean, they've lost a lot.
Yes.
And they've had to move.
Yes.
And frankly, we've lost good citizens of Louisiana to other states because they've had to move.
And we have an exodus problem anyway. So when a fisherman or people in the fishing business go into those marshes and those kind of things, what do they see that's changed dramatically in those marshes? I mean, if they punch the ground, 2 or 3 feet down in the water, what happens?
Well, if they punch the ground where they had an old pit, because now you can't see the pit, so what happened was the oil companies dumped their waste into the marsh rather than injecting it down where you couldn't see it below the land. So they dump this waste into the marsh. You take a pole, you scrape the bottom, and an oil sheen comes up. It looks like almost a BP oil spill in the marsh.
Wow.
And now these people, these fishermen, are seeing nothing but water. There is no more land. There's no more marsh. So not only do you see that, but you have old pipes, you have old wells that these regular recreational fishermen are having to deal with every day.
So those are the things that you bring litigation on, correct, to try to address and solve, correct, or remediate?
The litigation is specifically to provable damages caused by the oil industry. Nothing more, nothing less. We have pinpointed exactly what the oil companies have caused, and we're only suing to restore to its natural state Louisiana's coast that was caused by the oil companies. That's what the lawsuit's about.
Now, we have this thing going on in Europe right now, and the price of gas and the price of oil is jumping like crazy. And I assume that that's going to continue because of the nature of, it was already jumped to $90 a barrel, and so it'd probably go to 120, maybe 150 now. So how does this affect Louisiana? I mean, what can you do? Do you have a program that not only deals with the litigation but deals with the economic future?
Since the beginning of the litigation, I'm a Republican who believes in bringing back jobs to Louisiana. And from the beginning, we need the oil industry. We need a balance.
So you're not against drilling?
No, I want drilling. And I think this is the opportunity for Louisiana to drill. We need to have a clean slate. We need to clean up the environment so oil companies can come in and operate and not be liable for what happened in the past. Let's open up Louisiana for business. The coast is open. Let's settle these lawsuits and open up the coast, and we'll have more jobs and more economic development in the coast than we've ever seen.
It's fascinating. Last thing I want to ask you, I got off on all that and tell us a little bit about your education quickly.
I went to Catholic school in Prankerville, Louisiana, St. Elizabeth till 8th grade. Then I went to E.D. White Catholic School, and then LSU undergrad, graduated in business, and then I went to Loyola Law School in New Orleans.
Oh, you do more than just law business, though, right? I mean, you're in other businesses and enterprises, correct?
I do real estate business. I have a bunch of friends that I have teamed up with to do some type of economic development in different areas of the state, where we try to go in and develop to create jobs in other parts of the state.
Okay. John Carmouche is going to be back on a regular basis, we hope, in the coming days. But we thank you, John.
Thank you, Roy. Appreciate it.
It's an important message.
I thought I'd put on my sunglasses.
You look cool, man.
Yeah.
Tell you what,
it's ugly out there. It's hot. Oh, look at this, the Blues Brothers. Yes. I mean, that's what we are.
We're on a mission from God.
It's at 2 a.m. I got half a pack of cigarettes.
There you go.
And a full tank of gas.
And we're wearing sunglasses.
And we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it. So anyway, I don't know why it got me started on that. Next week, I want to talk about this theory that's going around. It's a legal theory. I want to have a good lawyer on here to talk about it, because I'm not a good lawyer. I'm an okay lawyer, but I'm not what I need to be.
You're an okay lawyer.
Yeah. But the point that I want to talk about is this notion of legislative independence as it relates to elections. If you remember back during the campaign, we talked about after the campaign, after the results were in, we talked about the state legislatures being bypassed by bureaucrats as to absentee voting and so on and so forth, and state courts and so on. And there's a theory that's developed from that the state legislatures cannot be bypassed by certain things like that, and therefore they have the power to control all of that. And it's an interesting theory. It's likely to be tested in the courts in North Carolina. They accepted the case there, and we'll talk about that a little bit, because that's going to be a real fight legally over the next year in the United States.
To be sure, we're seeing a lot more being done by executive action and by judicial action.
Absolutely.
That affects everyday law.
Well, we'll be back next week, and hope you join us.
Yeah, we hope you'll be with us. Until next time, you take care. God bless.
I'm sorry.
You've been listening to Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher and Kevin Gallagher. Remember, if you heard something that ticked you off, upset your sensibilities, or threatened your precious safe space,
the opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are purely their own and do not reflect those of this radio station or its advertisers.
So if you're calling a lawyer, planning a boycott, or a cancel campaign, forget about it and join us next week for more Fletch Nation.